Dad's hat. How about that? My dad was never left the house without it. He was a proud veteran, and he's on the other side right now, but I wear it for him. And anybody out there, a dad, a grandpa, a pet parent, anybody, raise your hand if you're a dad today, please, and let's give them some love. In my humble opinion, if your dad is still on this side, once that window closes, you'll realize how precious it really is. I'm Chris Parente, a proud member here of Althea. We welcome everybody, both here in person and online. I want to remind you, go ahead and turn the cell phone off. Just, forget silence, turn it all the way off. If you have a drink, that's great, but keep it in a closed container. We do believe in the power of affirmative prayer, and while we get a lot of that here in the service today, we also have something I think is really cool, which is a chance to meet one-on-one with our prayer partners. After service, over in Darwin's Den, if there's something either you want to celebrate or you want clarity on or you want just somebody to help you, pray with you, we've got Connie and Mike. Where are they? Where'd Connie go? Is she behind me? I knew it. Connie and Mike are really beautiful people who can hold space for you in that private prayer session. That'll be right after service. And you can also, anytime you want, go to our website and submit a prayer, and it'll be forwarded to our team of, I call them prayer warriors, who will help get that out into the universe. We do have a growing community here. I don't know if you were here yesterday for the psychic spiritual day we had. It was packed with people, and we're always looking to grow our membership. So if you're interested in signing on the dotted line, which is really all there is to it, there's my husband. Hey, Luis. Wave to Luis. You can talk to him over there in the back afterward, and we can get you signed up to be an official member. It's pretty cool for us, too. We use it to sort of tabulate how we're standing in membership. Also, everybody give me an ooh. Ah. These are gorgeous flowers today in particular, and I want to thank Bouquets Florist on 11th and Bannock. They've been providing our flowers for quite a while, and I just love today's. They're fantastic. You'll notice on the screen behind me, the announcements have been kind of circling. Just read them at your leisure. They're also in your program and on our website. There's always something going on at Althea. So I recommend you kind of study up. But in particular, we do have our next gong bath next Sunday. Very cool experience. Anybody had a gong bath, you know how cool it is. We are here at Althea, a non-denominational spiritual center founded 100 years ago. You've heard about our history. The idea that we are all ultimately facets of the same one. We are all the face of God. And in that way, we support anybody who's here. Size, shape, age, orientation, color, doesn't matter. We recognize that we are all children of God. Now, I mentioned flowers. I should ask, anybody here for the very first time? Any first-timers? Raise your hand, young man. Good for you. And mom and dad, keep them held high. We're not going to ask you to sing or call you up on stage. We are going to give you a flower as a way of thanking you for taking a step through the door, and we hope the journey is a beautiful one for you.
I was enjoying watching the flowers being passed up. So this is that time that we get to just get quiet for a moment. And if it feels comfortable, you can close your eyes. You can't hear. Okay, do I not have sound? Okay, how about that? Okay. So, then once again, if it feels comfortable, close your eyes. But let's drop to our heart and just be present right here, right now. For it is in our heart that we know that we are all one. It is in our heart that we connect with that one power, that one source, that we know is God, that we know is love, that we know is life. And today we know as Father. For there is only one unique essence that has created everything, that is all energy, that is the power that unfolds life in its many, many manifestations. And so as we are in that place, we know that we are each created out of that one essence. We are each a dynamic expression of that one power. And so as we know that, as we accept that, as we stand tall in that, then we speak our word and we affirm for the world that it is one, that there is life and it is good. And I do know that that good life unfolds in this place at this time. As our speaker, as our musician, as our volunteers, as everyone that is listening, and everyone that is in attendance, whether by video or in person, that we are all here by divine design, that we have taken this time, this moment, to recognize and know that this is a place of love. This is a place of truth. And even more, this is a place of joy. And so as we accept that and we acknowledge that, we say thank you. And we release into the universe anything that is not identified with our love. For we came here to be love, and we are love. And so, with that firmly established in mind and heart, we easily just let it go, saying thank you, knowing it is so, and so it is.
God is all, both invisible and visible, one presence, one mind, one power is all. The one that is all is perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. We are individualized expressions of God and are ever one with this perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of love. I hold you in my heart. We are a family. You are the face of God. I would now like to introduce our musician for the day, Alex Franklin. Alex happens to be Kristen and I's next-door neighbor. He grew up in Hong Kong and went to college in California to study computer science. He's since lived in Chicago and now resides here in Capitol Hill. Alex started learning piano as a kid and continues to play as a hobby. He likes classical and electronic music.
That was beautiful. We have two readings today. The first one is by Charles Fillmore, New Thought leader who founded Unity with his wife, Myrtle Fillmore, in 1889. The couple were friends of Nona Brooks and her sisters. You are a radiating center of divine light. Your thoughts go forth like rays of sunshine, shaping your world and illuminating your path. This radiant energy, centered in your solar plexus, the seat of your personal power, is how Spirit expresses through you. As you align with truth, your light grows stronger and you begin to move through life with purpose, confidence, and the quiet power of spiritual mastery. The second reading is from Emma Curtis Hopkins, an American spiritual leader and teacher involved in organizing, again, New Thought, the New Thought movement in the later half of the 1800s and 1900s, early 1900s. As a theologian, teacher, writer, feminist, mystic, and healer, she taught and ordained hundreds of people, including many women. There is good for me, and I ought to have it. This good is not earned through striving. It is claimed by recognizing my divine inheritance. As a child of the infinite, I am supplied, supported, and sustained. The Father within me speaks in confidence, not in doubt, in boldness, not in hesitation. I walk forward knowing that spiritual supply and sacred strength are already mine. Thank you.
A lot of you already know Kristen if you've come here before. Kristen Engelke has always been a seeker, studying dozens of religions. All, she found out, promote the same premise, which is in essence the golden rule. Her personal struggles became blessings when she learned to apply, she says, new thought principles to her life and release patterns of perfectionism. She's passionate about meeting people where they are, encouraging self-love. She spent her career as a professional speaker, group facilitator, holds a certificate in spiritual studies from the Center for Spiritual Living, and loves being a professional volunteer, which she does a lot of it around here at Althea. And this isn't in her bio, but we should also mention she's a huge Grateful Dead fan. She's a Deadhead, and we're blessed to have her filling in for Reverend Christina. Welcome, Kristen, as our guest speaker today.
Good morning, Althea. I remembered to turn on my mic, so everything is working exactly like it is supposed to. Thank you, Chris, for the beautiful introduction. You are a gift to this community. We appreciate having you here. As Chris said, I am Kristen Engelke. I'm the volunteer coordinator here at Althea, and I just want to welcome each and every one of you here, everyone that's joining us online, as we center in this beautiful energy of the Father, the Son above us, and the Holy Spirit. A little bit about me that you might not know is that I actually have been studying metaphysics for almost 30 years, probably a little bit longer. My father-in-law brought me to a metaphysical church here in Denver when I was 19 years old. And he saw in me that these books that he was giving me, that I would just absorb them and I would anchor in them. So I want to take a moment to thank him, because this New Thought spirituality has really been the cornerstone of my adulthood. Very, very precious to me. Giving the inspirational message at Althea is an honor. We stand on sacred ground, founded over 100 years ago by women who lived in this very community, and I'm so proud that we are doing exactly the same thing here today in honoring ourselves and our community and loving one another as they did 100 years ago. That's pretty fantastic. There's also something about me that I hope you'll take as a gift today. I pray about everything. Small task, big lift, I pray about it. A mentor of mine and also a mentor of Reverend Christina's had this message that we would come to her in our strife and in our struggle, and she would say, pray first. That's where you can start. Pray first. We pray a little different here at Althea. You heard Connie's beautiful prayer, affirmative prayer, where we don't beseech a God that is outside of us, that's ruling us. We anchor inside ourselves, inside our hearts. And that prayer is an affirmative action, taking our thoughts and speaking them into words, because we know from the study of New Thought that our words have power. I like to say, thoughts are things, choose good ones. That is your power. Today we find ourselves on this alignment of Father's Day, coming into the summer solstice, and I hope you liked my talk title. Oh, it's not even up there, but it was the Father, the Son, S-U-N, and the Holy Spirit. I thought that was really funny. I grew up Catholic, so when that dropped in, I was like, yeah, that's my talk title. The Son, Father, Son. And it was interesting to me how this came together. Let's talk about the Son. Not only is it the radiant star that warms our planet, it is also the light that we hold inside of us. There is an infinite light that is the sun that shines from us. The sun on the physical plane, like in our physical bodies, is represented by our solar plexus right here. Get it? Solar? Yeah, it's your third chakra being your center for personal power. This is where we derive our personal power. It's also represented by the color yellow, and it is called our solar plexus. So if you think about what the sun does in your life, that sun out there and this sun inside, what does it give us? Warmth. Helps our bodies make vitamin D. We derive energy from the sun. We can turn that into energy for our electronics and so on and so forth. The sun rules our wake and sleep cycles. It's necessary for photosynthesis to grow our food and to grow our plants that provide our oxygen. It's paramount to everything that we do. And on the summer solstice, I wanted to remember how powerful that sun is, the one above us, and also the one that shines from inside us. Nobody wakes up and tells the sun what to do, right? The sun just does its thing. It doesn't ask for permission. It does not wait until someone reminds it to shine. It doesn't ask for approval, and neither should we. Shining our own light in our own circle of influence is paramount to all of our healing. That personal expression is so critical each and every day. So now that we've talked about what the sun is, I'd like to transition to what the Father is. And the Father, in a metaphysical sense, is that divine light within you as well. It is the divine masculine. We recognize in our cultures and in our society that there's a very masculine element to the Father. But think of it on a personal level. The Father and the divine masculine encourages us to have strength, to take action, to move forward. The Father, in a metaphysical sense, stands behind us and encourages us to be who we are, to follow our dreams, and inspires us. But again, it's not that external Father. Some people have an image of God, or perhaps you were raised with an image of God of being some guy that sits on a cloud in the sky. Yeah, that's not who I see of the Father. It's one idea. But I think each and every one of us has that masculine energy and the feminine energy. And that provides balance. It provides balance in our life. It provides balance in our prayer work or our meditation time. And I love how both the Son, S-U-N, and the Father are symbols of strength, illuminate our path, encourage us, and help us in ways that we don't often recognize. I think that's really interesting. I have a quote that I wanted to share with you. And it's from Howard Thurman. If you're familiar with him, he was a mystic. He was also a spiritual guide to Martin Luther King Jr. And this quote just, it gets me. It understands what I wanted to share with you today. There is something in every one of you that waits and listens for the sound of the genuine in yourself. It's the voice that knows who you are before the world told you. It's the Father within, that still, unwavering presence of spirit that calls you into integrity, into courage, and into your rightful place in the world. When you hear it, let it guide you. And when you lose it, be still. It will return. This Father archetype that I'm calling in as we celebrate Father's Day today, think about what the archetype, not your father necessarily, or your father figures that were in your life, but what also that archetype represents. Providing. Many fathers provided for us. They guided us. They encouraged us. Maybe not in the most gentlest of ways, but here we are. And we have gifts from that, even if we don't always recognize them. I was blessed to grow up with a very loving father, and he made his transition a few years ago, but we were very close. And I love him so much, but he was not without fault. Did the best he could, made very interesting decisions. But what I learned through my own forgiveness work around the relationship that I have with my dad, this is going to be hard. My mom came and joined us today, and I'm really honored, but she also didn't know that she was in my talk. So give me a little grace here. When I did my own forgiveness work around my dad, I realized very clearly that if my dad had not made those painful decisions that caused our family to fall apart, my mother may never have had the opportunity to show up and dig deep and set an example for me as a young woman of what it looks like to be independent, to be strong, to be resilient. She could have lived her whole life never giving that to her girls. I have my grandmother painted too. Use this little trick she taught me. Thanks, Grandma. And when we move through the process of identifying pain, especially pain that we may have assimilated or attached to as children, my wish for you is that you have a moment where you can heal that, where you can decide that you suddenly make a different choice. I could have condemned my dad. I could have remained angry my entire life. That was my choice. But instead, I chose life. And I chose to rewrite that narrative that as a young child was all-consuming and super painful, and pull the gifts out of that. And that is what my mother was able to give me when she was put in a very challenging situation that nobody would ever want to experience. But she did everything right. And that is who made me who I am today. So thank you. Thank you, Mom. That wasn't going to be very hard. I've rehearsed this. It was going to be really easy, but with her standing here joining us today, it was a little bit more difficult. So thank you for bearing with me. One thing I will say about my relationship with my father is he made an incredible grandfather. He softened in his later years, and he was a completely different person as a grandfather than he was when he fathered my sister and I. I hear that that's a gift of wisdom, a gift of old age, and it reminds me how difficult it must be for fathers. And whether your relationship with your father was loving or challenging, probably a little bit of both, I want you to see that there is a different way to look at it. There's a different way, whether your father's here with you on this plane or whether he's passed many years ago. The choices his father made, whatever it might be, I do ask you to revisit it and hold it in your soul, hold it in your heart, and release the generations that came before you from their mistakes. In doing so, you release the generations that come after you in your mistakes. Letting go of the wounds of our past can begin with allowing ourselves to determine what we needed as a child and plant new seeds for healing. Another gift my dad gave me was the gift of heritage. He had a lovely father, my grandfather Thomas, great guy. He was very popular in his little town, mainly because he was very kind and he was very generous. He was a business owner, and as a child, his parents immigrated from Scotland through Canada, and as a child, he rode in their livestock cart on a train from Canada into Montana, eventually homesteading on the western slope of Colorado, where my dad was born. And I bring up my paternal grandfather today because he gave me my love of ladybugs. If you know me, you might know I drive a red car with black polka dots. You've probably seen it in the church parking lot. That's me. I attract ladybugs. I love ladybugs. And I just completed last week, actually, a book called Spirit Invertebrates. My spirit invertebrate, creature without a spine, is a ladybug. My mother's is a butterfly. She has her spirit invertebrate shawl on today. My son's spirit invertebrate is a coral. He's a coral researcher. My daughter's is a bee. We all have one. I don't know, Rob, do you have a spirit invertebrate? He's like, no, I don't. But my granddad had this little workshop, and he painted rocks to look like ladybugs. Cutest things ever. Here, let me show you. Like these. I'm sure you've seen something that looks similar. Well, you haven't seen this many of them. He painted thousands of them, and he spread them all over in Delta County, Colorado. If you had a yard, you had a rock. And what was even funnier about these little ladybug rocks is he had a stamp made, a rubber stamp, and he stamped our last name on the bottom of them. So they all say Coutts. And then he would just gingerly drive down the road, and if you had a yard that he hadn't put a ladybug in, you'd come home to find a ladybug in your yard. They're all over. It's quite incredible. This was an adorable hobby, and it was a way for him as he got older and he closed his business where he had been so passionate about, kept him busy, kept him out of trouble, kept him wrangled. My grandmother knew where he was because he was in his workshop painting ladybugs. And then as I got older, I realized how much I very much loved ladybugs and how they kept showing up in my life. And they have a very symbolic and spiritual meaning. If you read my book, you'll find more about ladybugs, coral, flies. I even put a cockroach in there. Butterflies. Cockroach is a funny story. I'm not going to tell it today, but so in that archetype of my grandfather being so generous and so loving, I married a man who had a lot of those same qualities. He's actually here with us today. He never sits down here because he's running our Facebook Live feed. Everybody say hello to Robert. Hey, Robert. Robert's loving kindness and his generosity has only deepened over the 29 years that we've been together. We have 2 children, Ty, who lives in Baltimore, and Molly, who led us in Face of God this morning. But that wasn't enough for Robert. He just didn't want 2 children. So Robert raised the whole neighborhood. Here's a picture of Robert and his brood. A couple years ago at prom, they're like, oh, Rob's got to get into our picture. Every one of these gentlemen was touched by the loving kindness and the generosity that Rob gave to them. Whether their dads were prominent in their lives or not, because many of them did not have a strong figure in their life, but Rob filled that void, and he did things like challenge them when they needed direction, honoring them when they were going through struggles. He was very generous with his money. He made sure that there was an even playing field for everybody. I remember buying washers and dryers for neighbors, or making sure that a particular boy had the right pants to sing at the choir concert. Little things like that. And he does that. That's his ministry. And he does that in a very profound way. Well, when Robert gives, he gives with that intention that those men, they're all adults now, will go out into the world and that they will share that loving kindness and that generosity in their sphere of influence. Never wanted anything back. Never needed it to be reciprocated. It needed to be sent forward. And he does that even here at Althea, giving of his time and his excitement and his projects. I love you, honey. Thank you. Thank you for fathering our children, fathering the neighborhood. He didn't stop there. Any one of his employees, he has 30 employees in his company, will say, he's a father figure. He's a father figure to so many of them. So let's take a moment and honor those father figures that you have in your life. Those who lifted us when we were small, those who offered guidance with few words. And let's honor those who have fallen short in their job as a father. For in their absence, we found our strength. And we learned and we grew. to the mentors and the teachers, the uncles, the friends, the neighbors who fathered us, either through love or through example. Thank you. And thank you, Chris, for acknowledging our fathers in our room. On this day of sun-soaked light, the energy of the solstice is here. It's present. I call on you to let it sit in your being. Let it come in and fill your body. Every cell, from your tips of your toes to the top of your head, bring that in. Let the solstice illuminate your path, where you go, where you should be. We'll use this time to awaken our divine masculine, our inner masculine energy, the one that's present, the one that highlights our purpose here on earth, and it also activates deep inner knowing. I'm going to invite Alex to come back up. He's going to play softly for me, and we'll do a little meditative exercise. Thank you so much. All right. So whether your father figure was positive or difficult, or perhaps a little bit of both, I want you to put your hand on your heart. This is such a grounding exercise for me. It calms me in the storm. And I want you to feel the warmth of the sun on this close to longest day that it's going to shine. Feel that sun shining from your heart, emanating out into the world. Right there, right now. Healing anything that lingers from that relationship with your father or any masculine figure that showed up in your life. You can close your eyes if it's comfortable for you, or just lower your gaze, soften your gaze. And as you feel the solstice sun in your heart, I'd like you to feel the power of the Father energy behind you. Solid, eternal, and unshakable. And ask yourself, where in my life can I step forward with more courage? And listen. Where in my life can I step forward with more courage? Where can I offer guidance? To myself or to others with compassion and strength? What within me is ready to rise into the light? I love that one. What within me is ready to rise into the light? Let these questions settle in your soul. You don't need answers right away. The light will reveal the answer in perfect timing. As you anchor in this moment, I invite you to silently speak any word or image that came through for you. You can write it down later or just receive it into your heart, as this is your solstice gift, a whisper from your soul. As I close today, I want you to remember this, that the summer solstice comes once a year, yet that light within you remains eternal. Father's Day blessing. Celebration and all may only last hours, but that divine masculine is always available to you to call upon for stability, for action, for support. Today, you are that living bridge between heaven and earth, between spirit and form, between Father Sky and Mother Earth. Walk forward in that awareness and shine like the solstice sun. And may the Father within you, the Son above you, and the Spirit that is all around you guide you home to yourself again and again. And so it is. Thank you. And Alex, you have another song for us.
I love when Kristen was talking about her husband and said he did all that not because he wanted anything back, because he wanted it paid forward. It's a beautiful thing. And it really comes to how we share our gifts, not just in the world, but here in Althea. So I appreciate the ushers coming forward. This is the time when we ask you to plant the seeds, pay it forward. We'll put the prayer on the screen there. I love this prayer, and we'll say it together as we bless the gifts. The universe provides all that I need and all that I give. With great joy, I share my prosperity planting seeds for a world I am helping manifest. And so it is. And as we bring the basket, we're old school here. We pass the basket. We're also cutting edge, I should say, because there are multiple ways to give. You can pop up a 5 or a 20 or a 10 in the basket, or you can go to our website. You can become a recurring donor, automatically taken out of your bank account. We also have a QR code you can scan and donate by credit card. It's quite simple. And I think, is Bob here today? Do we still have the little handy dandy swiper? Bob the swiper, we call him. So back at the table afterwards, you can just with your credit card and make a one-time donation. It's super easy. It helps maintain the building and maintain our community. And now we'll join together in our community song.
Plant your feet upon the earth. Know your value, know your worth. Take a breath that's long and deep. You're carried by the ground beneath. Feel the sunshine on your skin. A lotus flower blossoming. Your journey is your offering. You are here for a reason. Send your roots down through the dirt, anchoring you through the hurt. With every breath, lengthen your spine, reaching steady towards the light. Feel the sunshine on your skin. Turn up the wiser voice within. Your story is your offering. You are here for a reason.
Thank you, Molly. I love that song. And I'm just going to pray us out today. Thank you all for being here. And as we all take a deep, cleansing breath, we know that we take the beauty and the light from today's message, from our gathering, from the joy that we find in both the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit, that we take that forward and we plant those seeds out in the world, those seeds that nourish us, that heal us, and therefore heal the whole world. Thank you. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Althea. Thank you, Nona. And so it is.